Today I want to tell you about some products from a company called Trial Solutions. Now this is a sponsored video in the sense that he sent me some of this stuff for free, but I've also purchased some of this because I really believe in the things that he's selling. I want to start right away by talking about the clutch and brake levers. So the Trial Solution lever is something that's been sold out a lot because so many people are getting these levers. For one, this is a lever that does not hit the back of your knuckle. So as many riders have experienced when using a clutch lever, the back of your knuckle just starts to get hit, potentially if you over pull or a variety of different reasons. But I've got a dent in here where the calcium or whatever just kind of built up and it hurts. So I have moved away from this type of lever to a shorty lever, and that's been helpful, but nothing's helped quite as much as this. So with this type of lever, you can actually pull it all the way in and it never hits the other backside of your knuckle. So for one, it feels better. Secondly, the main levers that I was using would oftentimes when I would crash the bike or hit something would break. So this lever sticks out further, and when I go down or when the bars hit something like a rock, this would break. Well, with these levers being shorter towards the inside, that never happens. I never am able to crash into something and actually hit that lever so they don't break. Now, finally, one of the neat things is that because in trials we're only using one finger on the lever, I can't pull the lever and the clutch all the way in to like a 4-finger clutch pull. So with 4 fingers, I can pull it all the way in to completely disengage it, which is sometimes helpful when kickstarting the bike or trying to push it forward, things of that sort. With the Trial Solution lever, I can actually pull it all the way in. So this is like a 4-finger clutch pull that I'm getting with just the regular lever and not having to re-grip with all 4 fingers. I really, really like the clutch lever. I have come and gone with multiple different bikes back to this lever. They do make 2 different sizes for the clutch lever. This is the longer of the 2. I find that this pull is just perfect for the Beta, but they do make one that's even slightly shorter, which I did like previously on some of the diaphragm clutch bikes that I had, like a Vertigo and a TRS, but I do prefer this slightly longer one for the Beta. And just for reference, this is the factory normal lever, and then I've got a shorty lever, and then there's the Trial Solution lever, so you can see exactly how long they are. So it does change a little bit because I'm not able to pull, quite as close. I mean, you can move in a little bit to pull, but then it is hitting the back of the knuckle. So I'm usually always right on the edge, and that just gives me a consistent clutch feel every time I use it. And you can see the brake lever, very much the same. It's got some wear here, and I think that's just because I'm rolling on and off the throttle, but definitely some wear as I have been using these a lot. These particular levers do come with a nice adjuster, so this black one is what comes with it, and I really appreciate the quality and workmanship. I believe these are FIM certified, with that being considered kind of like a ball end on the end of it. So these are legal to run. I've run them in the National Series and not had any issues. So in addition, just sticking with the clutch and the brake, they do make really nice adjusters. So these adjusters you can actually pick up on their own without buying any of the clutch or brake levers. Just really nice quality workmanship, easy to make those adjustments with the finger, and they sell these as well. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the rear brake pedal tip. This is something that Trial Solutions has put together in a similar way of saying, hey, not everyone's hands are the same size and different clutch levers make sense. Not everyone's feet are the same size. So this particular brake tip is pretty unique because it's adjustable. So you can change how far back it is angled. This is something that I've not seen anywhere on the market. It's a little bit beefier than what the stock tip is, so I do like that. But then I can change the angle and how far back this is. It'll normally break away just like any others, but I've got this little adjuster, and you can actually change how far in you want this brake pedal tip. So as you can see, it can go further back, especially for shorter feet or so you want a different angle. This is something that's really, really handy. I haven't seen this, like I said, anywhere else on the market. I do really like this brake pedal tip, and I usually run it pretty much stock, but it is nice to be able to make that adjustment if needed. And then Alex also makes an additional one that actually adjusts out this way as well. So in addition to being able to adjust back towards you, he also has one that can adjust further out towards the foot so that it can become longer as well as going backward. 2 different styles. So before we go any further, I do want to give a shout out to the apparel that he's got. So this shirt is actually a Trial Solution shirt. This is pretty radical here. I really like this. I feel this is very applicable to me here. Problems, sometimes at work, stress, things like that, and then breaking out of a box solutions. So for me, this definitely makes a ton of sense as it relates to the stress that sometimes you go through, and riding that motorcycle really helps relieve that. So I really like this, this shirt, this design I think is pretty cool. And then on the back as well, just a nice logo. So shout out to Alex, nice job with these shirts. These are pretty sweet. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is this kill switch. So a typical magnetic kill switch, but this one's a little bit different. It does allow you to use your thumb in order to quickly take it off, which I do like. The typical stock ones are rounded, and this has got a little bit of a raised edge. So it's a little low profile, but it's got that raised beveled edge. So I'm not going to bump it with my thighs, but when I do want to get it off, I can flick it off. These particular billet lanyard kill switches also have two different tether that they come with to go around your wrist. So this bead has been engineered to be nice and firm. So this isn't going anywhere. Sometimes these beads will actually slide off, which is annoying. And these come as a regular one that is not stretchy. And then you also, when you buy the magnetic kill switch, you also get an additional one that is stretchy. So it's the typical stretchy type that you've seen. And again, this bead is really firm on here. It's not going to slip off by any means and come off the end, which is I've had happen and is really a drag. Come in a variety of colors, so you can get different colors as relates to the cap, and then also a couple different colors as relates to the lanyard as well. All right, last but not least is this air pump. This is a fully fledged rechargeable air pump. This is awesome. Look at how small this thing is. It's smaller than a pack of playing cards. It's a little bit thicker, but this thing is really, really cool. So let me show you a little bit about this. So we just turn it on by pressing and holding this particular button. It comes up and the auto-programmed pounds that I've got in here, or PSI, is 5 PSI. That can be changed, I believe, by double tapping there, and you can go to bar and then back to PSI. Also, if you double tap that, you're going to get a little bit of a light. So that's pretty cool. So if you're working as it's darker, and then to turn it off again, you just press and hold that. This can be auto off. So once it's set to 4 pounds, I can go ahead and put this on the bike and listen to how cute this thing is. I press this once I want it to start pumping air. So that is pretty loud, but this little tiny thing is rechargeable with a USB-C type charger right here. And it is super handy just to be able to put this in your pack or leave it in your toolbox, and then you've got a full air pump. Normally I am utilizing a larger air pump, or a bicycle pump. This thing is so cute, and it doesn't run out of battery. It's very actually long lasting. So with this thing being set to 4 PSI, I'm just gonna go ahead and push on here and then press, and it's gonna go ahead and... All right, so it auto stopped at what it considers 4. What I found with this is that it's actually about 5 PSI. So it will run in my gauge. If I auto program it to 4, it'll pump up to about 5. Now that's fine for me. I usually actually will test the exact PSI with another gauge just to make sure it's exactly where I want it. But this thing's really neat. It auto off, so you can change that higher and just take it out, but it'll fill up a trials tire without that much time. That was taking it from about 3 PSI up to about 5 PSI in the time that you just saw. All right, yeah, so that is right at 5 PSI when it's programmed to 4. So there is a slight calibration difference, but I think it's making sure it's got a total of 4 pounds, which is almost on the threshold of 5, but I just found it usually shuts off just above. So we'll go ahead and try it on the front as well. Let's take it to 6, which will probably take it to about 7. All right, so right now this tire is at 6 PSI. We'll go ahead and push it in. And it auto off, so that was 2 pounds that it put into there. And yeah, I'm just over 7. So I found that this is great. This is a wonderful gauge. It's not perfectly accurate, but for this size, it's filling up tires when I don't want to pack something bigger. So when it comes to ordering these, you guys can find these on his website, Trial Solutions. I do encourage you to check out the products that he has. These are quality products. These are not cheap as far as the quality and the materials. These are nice. These are products that I'm proud to have. I do think that these are something worth investing in. My particular favorites, the clutch and the brake lever, as well as the brake pedal tip and this air compressor. These things are cool. I'm really proud to say I like these products. I am not making any affiliate sales on these. I'm just wanting to put out there into the trials community products that I believe in, things that I think you might find value in. So if you guys want, check out his website. I believe you can also place some orders for some of these components through other retailers. I'll try and put that in the description below, like Trial Superstore and Trial Store USA, as it relates to here in the States. But these are some neat things that I wanted to share with you before I head out for a ride. Thanks for watching.